Hey everybody, welcome back to Uncle Skinny Reviews. I am your host, Uncle Skinny, and you're watching Uncle Skinny Reviews, the #1 show on YouTube that talks about the movies. We talk about all different kinds of movies, and that's what Uncle Skinny Reviews is. And I'd like to thank you for tuning in. I'd like to first and foremost thank the Uncle Skinny family for your thoughts and prayers and all those well wishes. As you can see, the skin transplant was a success. I received skin from my dear Uncle Salvi, and the skin did come off his ass, his butt. I got butt skin from my Uncle Salvi. On my face, but it did restore my face for the most part, and the doctors are telling me that the hair will start going back in on my face not in short amount of time. I'll have all the hair on my skin and my face back, which is great to hear. So I'm feeling good, I'm feeling fine, and we're ready to talk about the movies today. Our movie this week is Veronica, 2017, directed by Paco Plaza. And this hails from the country of Spain, and it is in Spanish, the language of Spain, Spanish language. And so you have to watch it with subtitles if you don't understand Spanish. But it does come from Spain. Veronica, 2017. And it tells the story of Veronica and her friends. They're all teenagers, and during a solar eclipse, they use a Ouija board in attempts to summon the spirit of Veronica's late father so she can talk to him. But of course, we all know how the story goes with the Ouija board. They inadvertently summon some sort of malicious demon entity spirit which haunts them. There's a lot of good things going on in Veronica. The camera is great, fluid, voyeuristic. Paco Plaza definitely proves himself to be a competent, promising director here. The script is good, the dialogue's good, the editing is all very good. But Veronica dangerously treads close to the cliche and the trite, which is very unfortunate. I'm going to coin it here first. You heard it first on the Uncle Skinny channel, and they'll probably be teaching it in film criticism for decades to come. But I'm going to call it the Ouija board dilemma. And what that means is no matter how creative or how much artistic integrity a filmmaker may have, they can still suffer by being imprisoned by the concept that they're trying to illustrate. Point in case, the Ouija board, we already know how the story goes. It's a well-trodden trope in horror movies, you name it. Play with the Ouija board, demons or evil spirits or ghosts come out and haunt them. That's the Ouija board story. That's all it is. That's all it can be. And very rarely, if ever, does a story ever deviate from that. And so with Veronica, while there's a lot of uniqueness in those scary scenes and a lot of cool things going on, unfortunately, because of the Ouija board dilemma, the uniqueness is a little bit diluted and the scare factor is deeply diluted. I mean, is Veronica scary? The current state of my face is far more scary than Veronica. And to that end, I really checked this movie out because I started seeing things on Facebook and whatnot that, people couldn't watch the whole thing. They were turning it off. It was too disturbing, too scary. And after seeing the movie, I can only say that that's just clickbait bullshit, because my pulse didn't raise a single bit throughout the watching of Veronica. It was a pretty smooth, steady ride. It's not scary, okay? I didn't find it scary at all. Which isn't bad. But that is the kind of the issue here. It is such a predictable movie that it becomes kind of just another teen scream blockbuster. We've already kind of watched this before. That being said, the other thing I want to talk about the film Veronica is when it opens up, it is heavily emphasized that this is based on a true story, based on actual events. And of course, that's always a kind of a gimmicky thing to do. We know, or should know rather, that a lot of these movies that say they're based on true stories or actual events take a lot of artistic license in how they tell those stories, those true stories. And without giving a spoiler, I will say that at the end of the movie, we are treated to what we're meant to believe is photos of this crime scene and the statement given by the detective who saw the crime scene. And this is given forth as proof or evidence that, yeah, this is a real story and that real weird shit went down. Now, if that's true, and if those crime scene photos are real, then bravo to you, Mr. Plaza, because he really did reimagine what happened in a very cool way, and those crime scene photos look identical to the film that we just watched, those scenes that we just watched. I mean, recreated to a T. And if so, if this is true, and if this was a real story, wow, then I think Paco Plaza deserves a lot of praise for being able to recreate and reimagine that story so well. And to that end, I really don't know how true this story is. I have to do some research. I'd like to figure out if there is something more about it, more going on. In that sense, I'm a little torn as to how to rate this movie. If this is a true story, then I think Paco Plaza deserves a lot of praise. If this is another kind of farcical move of based on actual events, then it just goes down a path of being well-trodden cliche, just your average blockbuster horror movie, which is frankly a little disappointing to me because, again, we've already seen this before. It's just beating a dead horse. I want something a little bit new and refreshing in horror movies, especially if they are taking a cliche concept of the Ouija board. So I'm a little torn as to how to deal with this movie. And to that end, if this is based on a true story, I think a documentary, frankly, would have been almost more interesting than some sort of feature film. There is a lot of cool things going on for Veronica. I don't dislike it as a whole. I'm just torn with this movie, and it certainly isn't frightening. I'm going to give it a 5, maybe a 6, 5.5 out of 10. And what I'm going to do is next week we're going to give you a little update after I do a little research, and we're going to find out, get to the bottom of this. And so this rating could be subject to change. We'll let you know, Uncle Skinny family. But it's a 5 out of 10 for me, for Veronica. Well, you know what, gang? That's our review for today. We have a special treat here on the Uncle Skinny channel tomorrow. I'll be uploading another video. That's right, we've got a double feature this week on Uncle Skinny Reviews. And tomorrow we'll be uploading another film review. It's a special fan recommendation. Comes from the man himself, Geoff Beirant, aka the Vag Masterson, who is just an OG Uncle Skinny Reviews fan, and a shout out to him. And he is high ranking in the Uncle Skinny army, and for that we're going to give him a special Uncle Skinny salute. And a moment of silence. Moment of silence. Moment of silence for Jeff. And it's not because he's ill. I believe he's alive and well. That's my impression. But it's just out of respect for Jeff. So we're looking forward to that, gang, tomorrow. The review of Gandahar, Light Years. So we'll see you again tomorrow, gang.